Now at 5:30, testimony at the Unite the Right trial was dominated by plaintiff Reverend Wispelweed.
Now, he spent more time on the stand than any other victim since Natalie Romero, who was the first to testify in this case. Now, it's another day of court proceedings in the civil trial against the organizers of the deadly Charlottesville Unite the Right rally. The 9 people who were hurt in the 2017 rally are accusing the organizers of planning for the violence that happened that weekend. The results of this case could set a precedent for how judges handle other incidents with white supremacy. Now, from Charlotte to Charlottesville, our chief legal expert, Seema Iyer, is there covering this case and has been there since day one of this trial. She is one of only a very few journalists allowed inside the courtroom. Seema, let's begin with Chris Cantwell's cross-examination of Reverend Wispelweed.
Yeah, there was about 20 minutes of back and forth here about milkshakes. What was that all about?
I know the two of you were dying to be in the courtroom with me for this. Okay, so let me explain what this is about. The Reverend, he tweeted something regarding neo-fascist politicians who got milkshakes poured on them, okay? So then Cantwell ran with this, and then he kept asking him questions back and forth. Hold on a second, here we go. And then the judge intervened, which made the whole thing even funnier because it had been going on for so long. And the judge said, under what circumstances do milkshakes come up? Like, let's dial this in, people. And then Cantwell, to his credit, knows the law. What he was trying to ascertain was that the definition of assault is an unlawful touching. So if you take that route, wouldn't you agree, Reverend, that a pouring of the milkshake is equal to an assault? I'm telling you, this Reverend, he would not budge. And then finally, Cantwell said, your purported dedication at nonviolence stops at milkshakes. And the Reverend didn't disagree, guys. True story from the courtroom.
Yeah, you get everything in court today, even with a little bit of levity talking about the milkshakes and what that's all about. But Nathan DeMuro on cross-examination, he started off his testimony, though, talking about being a true racist while incarcerated. Why was he in prison?
Okay, so I just want to be clear. I've spoken to 2 sources, and this is what I've gathered. Nathan DeMuro says that he suffered from PTSD from being in the war. He fought in Iraq. So that's his explanation. So at that time, after coming back home, he assaulted a cab driver who I believe was of Middle Eastern descent. He claimed, again, this was PTSD. Nobody bought it, so he ended up doing time in prison for robbery and related crimes. And so that's why he was in there. And then when he was there, he basically read David Duke's book called My Awakenings. He says David Duke was his inspiration, and then he decided to found his own organization, Identity Europa, and that was in 2016. And the idea, guys, was to form a white ethno-state. Back to you.
All right, Seema, real quick, Nathan DeMuro, let's stay with him for a minute there. He called Richard Spencer, the founder of the alt-right movement, a man after his own heart. So that just can't be good right now for Spencer right now.
Okay, guys, you know, there's just so much levity and so much drama in this courtroom, I cannot say it enough. Richard Spencer, who clearly knows Nathan DeMuro, he gets up on the stand and he says, oh, hi, my name is Richard Spencer, Mr. D'Amigo. So we think, the reporters think that he purposely mispronounced the name, but so the best part of this, Richard Spencer trying to distance himself, is that if you look, and I think it's on your screen right now, there is that Identity Europa sign, and there's a banner, and behind the banner, there is a gentleman in a black shirt and a beige jacket, and we believe that is Richard Spencer. So if he's not part of that organization, why is he doing that? I don't know the answer, but I do know this, that Nathan DeMuro did his colleague, Richard Spencer, a favor by saying who organized this, Jason Kessler. Let me just remind everyone, Jason Kessler is the lead defendant in this case. And guys, I'll leave you with this last bit of levity. Apparently, when they went to these rallies, they got together and stayed at something called the Fash Lot. Fash loft. So to me, it sounds like kind of like a frat house, but I'll leave that up to you two to decide for tonight, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like what you're talking about. And it's obviously much more serious stuff that's happening here with this trial. When someone died there, Heather Heyer, back in 2017, and those defendants certainly have a very serious thing to be thinking about. Obviously, also, too, with this levity in court, you had to have a little bit of that as well. All right, Seema Heyer, thank you so much.
Seema, just only a handful of one of the journalists from across the country allowed inside the courtroom from the Unite the Right trial. She will continue, of course, to bring us exclusive new details from inside the courtroom throughout the trial right here on Fox 46 News.